Day one was dominated by Casey Carty, a 21-year-old who batted with a truckload of common sense as he crafted his second 100. He steadied the rocking ship as 65 for 4 became 252 all out. A bit expensive, Hayden Walsh Jr. with 5 for 75 produced a performance of a senior. At the close of the first day's play, it is a pretty interesting battle, and the scoreboard tells the story. The Hurricanes, they won the toss and they chose to bat, and at the end of the innings, 252 all out, thanks to a magnificent 114 from Carty. Didn't get a lot of support in terms of big scores. In fact, the next best would have been 19 from Ward, but when you look at it, he really was involved in some small but important partnerships, because at one stage, the Hurricanes were actually struggling. There's no doubt about that. They were 106 for 5. Then they went to 129 for 6 and 177 for 7. So you see that partnership was important. Then 217 for 8, 241 for 9. And in fact, it was Carty, the last man to go. He departed with perhaps the best ball of the day, a beautiful googly. It was maybe the first time we were seeing it, and it was Walsh bowling him neck and crop, but his contribution was worthy of commendation. At the close, the Barbados Pride, a tricky little period, 12 without loss. Allen has got 2, Mosley is on 8, 10 overs gone, and no doubt in terms of these conditions, the sun is out in all of its brilliance. We'll be expecting a pretty interesting second day. So, day one is out of the way. Day two, what can we expect? It should be very interesting. The pitch here can be unpredictable. There's no doubt about that. We saw when the bowlers put in some effort, we got some bounce. But then towards the end of the day's play, 1 or 2 deliveries kept a bit low. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the second day. The Hurricanes, they won the toss and quite predictably decided that they were actually going to be bat first. And this is the trend, really, because you don't want to be batting a second on this pitch. And 252, Roland Butcher, who's going to join us pretty soon, was making the point that he thinks is a good score, 252. And when you do the stats, you'd find that really and truly the scores here can be very, very small. And we've seen games here at the 3Ws Oval ending well before the appointed time. So when we look back at the first day's play, it was not a good start for Hodge. He just got 1. Chandrika 4 over from Guyana. And then Thomas lowered down the pitch, was stumped. Soft dismissal, I thought. He made 10. Saunders got 12. Ward played 1 or 2 useful shots, but then got a long hop from a Walsh and was caught at the Mibikateri. It was a good catch. The ball went to him very quickly. The captain, Brooks, holding on to it. Jacobs didn't last as long as a Bajan Snowcone, had gone for 7. But then Daniel Durham, I think this is one you can keep your eyes on. First time I'm seeing a big, strong man. I would think about maybe 6 feet or 7 or so. But a good defense, played 1 or 2 lovely shots down the grounds. And he, and a good partnership with Carty. And in the end, it was Durham going for 16. Then Louis came to the crease. He hit 3 4s, then got a short ball and was pulling, and Harden took a good catch. He'd gone for 18. And then Joseph came up, got a couple of long hops. He made 16. But as I said, those partnerships were small, but they were important. And I would think that the Hurricanes, having been at one stage 106 for a loss of 6, would have been quite happy to reach the 252. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens as far as that is concerned. Heading up to just about 2 o'clock, the umpires are going to be coming out very, very soon. Keith Holt is going to join me very soon. And, of course, Roland Butcher is going to be coming along for the action, of course, on the second day. This game, of course, has been carried here locally by CBC and across the Caribbean. We want to say hello to all of our listeners in Antigua on ABS radio and throughout Grenada, of course, our friends as well across the Caribbean taking the broadcast as well. And of course, it's being streamed, and so you've got an opportunity really to watch it. You also got an opportunity to listen to it, and of course, it's so important that you actually support West Indies cricket. The players are coming onto the field now, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. This first period of cricket is going to be of great importance. There's no doubt about that. no doubt about that. I'm going to be pretty interested to see what happens in terms of the pitch, because one would think that it could play an important role in this game, and this is why I believe that the Hurricanes, having won the toss, they chose to bat, because they don't want to be batting last. As I said earlier, it's a pitch that can really give batsmen some difficulty. We've seen it in the past, and in fact I had a chance to see it yesterday. I was with Coach Benjamin, and he'd expressed a little bit of concern about the fact that the pitch looked very dry and was already cracking up. It looks as if it's going to be Louis to start the attack. Now, this was the man who last year did so very well against the Barbados side. In fact, that game that was played at the Regents Bank at Kensington, and it finished on the second day, and Louis really was a star performer, and he no doubt will be hoping that he can repeat. The Barbados side have got two young, interesting left-handed players at the crease. Of course, there's Aline, who's been struggling in recent times. Mosley had a very good first year, and he will certainly want to be in a position where he can actually look very seriously in terms of continuing from where he left off last year. Aline is looking to rediscover the wonderful form he had at the start, but he made 500 runs, but then really flattered to receive. And there are some who feel that he should have actually had to work his way back into the side. In fact, Tino Best, the former West Indies, former Barbados fast bowler, was a bit surprised that he actually made the side. So we're just about ready for the action. As we say hello to all of our listeners wherever you are, and welcome to a very sunny 3Ws Oval. The news is that the action is going to start promptly, and we're going to have a situation, of course, where the Barbados side will be looking to get a solid start from these two openers. On the other hand, the Hurricanes are hoping to make early inroads. With me is Keith Holder. Hello, Keith.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Andrew, and the listeners.
So what do you expect today, Keith, in terms of this performance? Of course, this first hour or so could be of great importance. As I said, we got a situation where these two will want to settle, and of course the Hurricanes will want to get wickets pretty early.
Yes, time for the Barbados batsmen just to restart, settle, and get a big score.
So the first delivery is on the line of that leg stump and played away. Ball that was pitched up by that's Louis, and Aline comes forward and pushes the ball away down towards that mid-wicket area. There's no run. Aline, a shorter runs, Keith?
Well, you know, he knows how to get runs, as he did a couple of seasons ago, so you wouldn't get down on him too much short of runs in the local elite division competition and last season in this tournament, but he's been there before.
Here is Louis as he comes in to bowl to Aline to this delivery. He's going back to ball, which is on the line of that leg stump, and pushes down to mid-wicket. There is no run. But a good season for Mosley, the man who plays for the Wanderers club. I thought he batted pretty well, and no doubt will want to continue from where he left off in the last season.
Yes, he had a dream start in his debut first-class season. And then with the most runs for Barbados Pride, didn't start that well, but was able over time to concentrate on his game, and he got a couple of hundreds.
Here is Louis, comes up now. He's in and bowls to Aline, and Aline is getting the ball, which is turned away, looking for the first run. Took a couple of steps to this crease. It was on the line of the leg stump, and it was turned down towards mid-wicket. Thought of going for the run. Jake